What up? It's your boy Dvrth back at it again with another video, and we today we're gonna talk about something a little bit different. I feel like I say that a lot, but today, yesterday actually, I went to go see the new Grudge movie. I decided, you know what, I'm going to see if whether it's good or not. I have watched the Grudge a lot in my years. I spent most of my teenage years watching that movie, the Japanese and the American version. And of course, I like the Japanese version a lot better. The American versions were okay, but not phenomenal. They were just okay. They kind of teetered between okay and like, oh, that was shit. Um, but they weren't horrible. I will say that. And it's the same thing with this movie. It wasn't horrible, but it definitely wasn't good either. Like, to the point of where at the end of the movie, like, I won't give away any spoilers because I mean there's really not much to spoil anyway. But at the end of the movie, I remember some guy behind me. There's two guys behind me, and one guy, like, as soon as the credits start to pop up, um one guy goes, "Oh, great job, Nicholas." And because in the credits, whoever directed it was like, his name was like Nicholas or something. He goes, "Great job, Nicholas." And then the other guy next to him goes, "Fuck you, Nicholas." And I was like, bro, you know what, I agreed with that sentiment. I was like, god damn it. Like, go fuck yourself, Nicholas. It was so great. Like, I feel like that man, that single man in that theater, he encapsulated what everybody in that theater felt in that time. My man said, "Go fuck yourself, Nicholas." And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's how I feel about this movie too. Um, it was not the greatest. I'm not gonna lie. And it wasn't even like horrible. Like, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has like an F. It's doing really bad on Rotten Tomatoes. As much as we can't exactly trust Rotten Tomatoes with ratings and stuff, but just for perspective, it has an F on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, is it an F? No, it's not an F movie. It's not that bad, but goddamn, it's not good either. A lot of it comes with a lot of the same stuff that you would expect from any horror movie nowadays. The cheap jump scares. They even redid one of the scares from the last Grudge, which I guess you can like count as an homage to the last Grudge, where they did the where he's like, dude's washing his hair or some shit, and the girl's hand comes from out of his hair. Like, they did that, and that shit, that was it would have been, it wasn't scary, mostly because it just wasn't scary, but also because, I mean, we've seen it before. It wasn't that well done of a it wasn't even that well done of a scare the first time it was done. So to do it again, while it may have been an homage, it was just still just okay. As far as the story is pretty much non-existent. I'm not about to sit here and lie to you. The story is pretty much non-existent. um it is basically the same as the rest of the movie. It's exactly what you would expect. The Grudge is passed from Japan to America because some random person, not really random of a person, but some woman is in contact with the original house, comes to America, and starts a whole new a whole new curse. And it is, they do this thing in the story where they go from, they skip to different time periods, in like, they go from like 2004 to 2006, then 2006 to 2005, where they try to do this whole like where they try to build up mystery with it, but the problem with them building up the mystery with the whole time jump way of telling the story is that they start off trying to tell the story with the end of the story, so you know what happens to everybody in these time jump stories. You're like, oh, yeah, well, that's great and all, but I already know what happens to you. I already, like, you don't make it. You don't make it, and this is exactly how you don't make it. You don't make it, and this is exactly how you die, because you've already given away that mystery. So you can't really say that they had much mystery to the story. It was bad. It was bad. The as far diverging from the story, when it comes to the acting was not horrible. It wasn't horrible. The actors did the best that they could. I feel like sometimes when there's a movie that isn't very good, we tend to throw that load on to the actors. We usually we usually on bad in bad movies we tend to think that actors are also doing bad, or there's bad acting. I can't say that there was bad acting. It was some people's roles were subpar. Some people did a pretty good job in their roles. I would say that, yeah, the acting was pretty good. They did what they could with what they were given, is the best way I can put it. They did what they could with what they were given, and they did the best that they could with what they were given. It's, they can only act as well as the script is written. So the acting was okay. Wasn't amazing, but it was okay. Like I said, you can only act as well as the script is written. So yeah, the acting was okay. Uh, it, one of my gripes with the movie is that we there is no there's no mention or sign of Kayako in the entire movie. The entire movie, there's no mention of her. There is no there you don't see, I think you see her once. See her once in the beginning. That's it. And to me, kind of like defeats the whole purpose of there being a grudge. Like, you can't it's it's like making a Terminator movie, but Arnold isn't in it. Like, well, why? I guess it's a Terminator movie, but it's not. This isn't what I came for. Like I said, the scares were pretty bad. I went with somebody that was rather susceptible and squeamish to things like scares and stuff, and even she wasn't really phased by anything. I like to go about it as, when I watch a horror movie, there are three levels to my reaction to horror movies, right? So the highest response that you can get from me in a horror movie is like a Jesus Christ kind of reaction, where I can't, my brain doesn't exactly comprehend what I'm seeing, and it just does it rejects how horrible the imagery is. Those are reserved for Silent Hills, and not the second one. Not the second one. We don't talk about the second one. The first one in the games. That's when it comes to horror. The games. Then you have the second tier, which is more of the oh my god kind of no, yeah, kind of like the oh my god kind of reaction. That's more like the surprise that it's happening, surprise at what I'm seeing, but it's not too crazy. Then at the very end of it, what which is what I felt through the whole entire movie, as the oh nah, like where shit pops off. I'm just like, oh nah, that's horrible. That's that's pretty bad. That was pretty much my reaction to everything in that movie. None of the character, I didn't fear for any of the characters' lives, even though they were all pretty much dying. Everybody was just getting killed. I didn't feel for any other characters. I don't know you. You haven't established yourself to be somebody that I should like or dislike. I don't give a fuck about you. There are no recurring characters. There are no characters that have some type of relevance to the last three movies. So you really don't find yourself giving a fuck about whether they die or not. You just kind of wait for everybody to die, and that's the entire movie. Just you wait, just somebody being introduced and you going, well, can't wait to see you die. You dead? Yeah. Oh, well, that's tragic. Bring in the next character. Yeah, can't wait to see you die. You dead? Yep, that's tragic. And I don't know. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't too bad. It was an okay movie. It was popcorn. It was your regular popcorn film, which is disappointing because I'm just waiting for the resurrection of horror, like really good horror films. And I know there's a lot of really good horror films out there that don't exactly, make it to the big screen, and those are the films that I should be looking at. But just on the big screen in general, I just want to see somebody make a good horror movie. That's the only reason I go to see these horror movies anymore in the first place. Is every time I go, I'm just sitting there hoping to God that that this is a good movie. It's usually not a good movie. I'm not gonna lie to you. The last couple horror movies that I've watched, with the exclusion of the newest Halloween, that one was pretty good. That was okay. I appreciate that title. But the last couple of horror movies that I've seen in the past year or two have been disappointing. I didn't fuck with any of them, to be honest with you. I didn't fuck with any of them. They weren't that good. And it's mostly because when it comes to horror, it's that's all it is. It's not a horror story. It's just horror. There is no storyline to it. Every horror movie is just putting a bunch of cast members into a situation and finding out like different ways for them to die, or like creating different ways for them to die, which, mind you, end up not being very very creative ways anyway. So it's disappointing. It's disappointing is what it is. I it's Horror has just really lost its way. It's really lost its way. We don't push the envelope enough when it comes to it. We always want to play it safe. It's always the same formula. It's tense music starts to rise suspense, then the music stops, you look around for a little bit, fake out, actual scare. It's the same tired formula every time. I don't know. I'm just getting more and more disappointed with horror movies as a as a genre, just horror as a genre. I'm just getting more and more disappointed every time I go and see another horror movie, and honestly, it's going to get to the point where I just stop seeing them. I'm probably just gonna stick to the to like the film festival kind of horror movies, or maybe the obscure ones that come out on like fucking Amazon Prime or some shit. That type of stuff, because I don't think Hollywood knows how to do horror anymore. It's just really cheap and watered down now, and it's just really disappointing. So all in all, the movie was it was okay, I guess. It was a movie. It was a movie. Yeah. Would I suggest you go see it? No, no, no. Save your money. Don't even worry about seeing it, unless like you need, uh, unless you just want to pass the time or some shit. That's the only reason that you'd go see it. Other than that, it's really not that special at all. Um, Hopefully Hollywood gets their shit together. Um, but that's about it. That's about it. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, all the other stuff. Follow me on Instagram at Darth with 2 H's, and follow me on Twitter at not Darth. So yeah, I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep because I'm just giving up faith. So yeah, y'all take care of yourselves.